It's the kind of house they don't build anymore. A relic of a time when the world wasn't in such a hurry, when there was still time for a little charm and elegance. It has stood empty for a long while, and at the price, it is a bargain. For a growing young family, it is almost too good to be true.
What do you think?
I love it.
James Brolin, Margot Kidder, Rod Steiger in the Amityville Horror.
God's peace in this house.
Get out!
Hello?
Hello, Kathy? Father Delaney, there's something very important.
Mommy, I want to go home.
What do you want from us?
What's all going wrong? We have to do something.
I'm coming apart! Oh, Mother of God, I'm coming apart!
28 days after the Lutz family moved into their dream house, they were running for their lives. What happened to them is an experience in terror you will never forget, and you will believe in the Amityville Horror. From the best-selling book that made millions believe in the unbelievable, the Amityville Horror.
Hi, this is Sam,
This is Becca.
and welcome to BNS About Films. This episode is about
The Amityville Horror.
the original Amityville Horror.
Original.
The original
Yeah.
Amityville Horror.
Even though the remake is pretty good.
I saw the remake in the theater.
But the original, nothing can top that.
We're talking about the 1979
James Brolin.
James Brolin episode.
Yes.
How many Amityville Horror movies do you think there have been?
Are we talking about legit, not legit? What?
All Amityville Horror movies.
7,
Nope.
9,
Nope.
12.
14.
Close.
There's the Amityville Horror.
Yeah.
Amityville 2, The Possession.
Yes.
Do you know who wrote that one?
Well,
Tommy Lee Wallace.
I can see it in that one too, yeah.
Amityville 3D.
Mm-hmm.
Amityville 4, The Evil Escapes.
Mm-hmm.
The Amityville Curse.
See, that's where we get in the gray area.
Amityville. Hey, it's about time. Amityville, A New
That's
Generation.
what it's called?
Yeah, Amityville, It's About Time.
No, it's not called that.
Baby, yes. Came out in 1992.
That's sad.
There is...
Who's in it?
I can look it up if you want.
Nobody.
Well, that's just who... Amityville, It's About Time. Amityville, A New Generation. Amityville Dollhouse.
Mm-hmm.
The Amityville Horror Remake. The Amityville Haunting. The Amityville Asylum. Amityville Death House. The Amity Playhouse. And in 2017, there'll be Amityville The Awakening. Yes. Amityville, hey, it's about time. Was starred no one you've ever heard of. And it was very similar to all the other ones. Nobody that anybody really knew was in that one. But we're talking about the original Amityville Horror here. The one that came out in 1979, directed by Stuart Rosenberg, based on Jay Anson's best-selling novel, came out in 1977. This is based on the alleged
Ghost story and hauntings and paranormal.
the Lutz family. Do you know the address of the house?
I know it's Ocean Avenue.
112 Ocean Avenue.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Is the Yellow
numbers.
Card song about the Amityville Horror?
No, it's not.
If I could live in this house, I'd be haunted forever. Is that how it goes?
Yeah.
This was produced by Samuel Z. Arkoff, who did tons of movies. It stars James Brolin, who I have a sneaking suspicion that my wife thinks is attractive.
If you had dark and shorter hair, you'd be my James Brolin.
Do you like James Brolin? No, I don't mean this in a creepy way.
What?
Who's hotter, James Brolin or his son?
His son? No, that depends.
No.
During this time, him.
Him?
Now,
Yes.
let me get the son.
Margot Kidder,
Yes.
Rod Steiger,
Yes.
who I bet my wife thinks is kind of hot too.
How to Treat a Lady.
Don Stroud and Murray Hamilton
Mary!
as the Beaver.
No.
It has a few other people in there too, a lot of kids. Helen Shaver is Carolyn. If it's no, I'm thinking of someone different. I'm thinking of Helen Slater. Nobody else really. This was shot in Toms River, New Jersey, because authorities in Amityville had denied permission for filming in the actual location.
Well, yeah.
Local police and ambulance folks would play extras in the film. Jay Anson's screenplay was rejected by producers, who opted for a version written by Sandor Stern. Indoor shots were filmed at the MGM studios in California. James Brolin was super hesitant when offered this role. James Brolin was at first hesitant when offered the role. He was told there was no script, so he got a copy of the novel to read. He started reading the book and read it till 2 o'clock in the morning. Earlier, he had hung up a pair of his pants earlier, and during an especially tense passage of the book, his pants fell to the floor.
Ooh.
He jumped from his chair in fright. It was then he decided to do the film, which says to me, James Brolin straight up freeballing while he read this book.
Yes.
James Brolin was like, let me take my pants off. He was not yet with Barbra
Barbie
Streisand.
Streisand.
Brolin became friendly with George Lutz and the family, though he was highly doubtful of their story.
I don't believe him either.
He also said later
That guy looks like a schmuck.
he could not get a job for 2 years after this movie
Why?
because people hated it so
People
much.
thought that he was the devil.
Yes, so
They hated him,
It was
or they were scared of him.
they just didn't like him. They thought he like kind of sold out
He
for
was
doing
mean.
that. Yeah. Despite being a critical failure, it was described by Roger Ebert as dreary and terminally depressing. And others said, dull and disappointing to best can be said that it set a low bar for its many sequels and remakes. It was a commercial success. It's one of the most successful films produced by an independent studio, and it's one of the last AIP movies. The most successful one they did since The Born Losers in '68. This movie grossed $86.432 million in the U.S. alone. It was the second highest grossing film in 1979. Lalo Schifrin's score was nominated for an Academy Award. It was sometimes said that this was the score that he wrote for The Exorcist that was rejected. He said that's not true. So that is a little wiki about the Amityville Horror. The book came out in '77, and it's about Ronald DeFeo, who shot and killed 6 members of his family at 112 Ocean Avenue. In 1975, George and Kathy Lutz
Moved into their house.
Yes, and 28 days later, after rehab, I'm just kidding.
No.
They claimed to be traumatized by paranormal phenomena while they were in the house. This movie led to many lawsuits.
By the DeFeos.
Yeah, by the DeFeos, by all sorts of different people. There have also been 5 sequels to the book. Much of the controversy surrounding the Amityville Horror can be traced back to the way it's been marketed. One edition of the book has some quotes on the cover that say, "A fascinating, frightening book, the scariest true story I've ever read." While the tagline states, "More hideously frightening than The Exorcist," because it actually happened. This reference is revealing because the '73 film had been a box office success. Many of the incidents in the book recall The Exorcist. That's one of the reasons why the book aroused suspicion. Because it didn't come out until after The Exorcist.
The things that happened, they said,
Yes.
came from that.
Yeah. In an afterword of the book, Johansen states, "There's simply too much independent corroboration to support the speculation that the Lutzes imagined or fabricated these events. But some folks remain unconvinced. Almost as soon as the book came out, other writers and researchers said, I don't think it happened."
You don't either.
Yeah.
I'd like to think it happened, but I don't think it happened.
Father
I also think that the original murder was a robbery gone bad, and it was him and his friends.
Yeah.
I think it was more than one person.
Father Pecoraro stated in an illegal affidavit that the only time he ever met the Lutzes was via telephone. Other accounts say he visited the house but experienced nothing unusual. He gave one on-camera interview to the greatest TV show ever, In Search Of, with Leonard Nimoy.
Earthquakes are nature's most frightening events. For when the earth is at war with itself, there is no place to hide.
This series presents information based in part on theory and conjecture. The producer's purpose is to suggest some possible explanations, but not necessarily the only ones, to the mysteries we will examine.
His face is obscured during the interview. He repeated the claim, "I heard a voice saying, 'Get out,' but said, 'You know what? I don't know if it's paranormal. It might have just been someone saying it.' He said, 'I did feel a slap to the face and did get some blistering.'"
As is common with many Catholic families, Mrs. Lutz asked her parish priest to stop by and bless the house. This blessing began in the sewing room and seemed to set off a chain reaction which would jeopardize the lives of everyone involved. Because of criticism later leveled by other church officials, the priest has never before talked to anyone in the media. In Search Of was able to locate him, and he agreed to tell us his story, but only if he could remain anonymous.
I was blessing the sewing room. It was cold. It was really cold in there. And I thought, gee, this is peculiar. Because it was a lovely day out. And it was winter, yes, but it didn't account for that kind of coldness. I also sprinkling holy water. And I heard a rather deep voice behind me say, "Get out." It seemed so directed toward me that I was really quite startled. I felt a slap at one point on the face. I felt somebody slap me, and there was nobody there.
He said, but in every interview with him, he's been really inconsistent. So more questions were raised than answers. The claims of physical damage to the doors, locks, and windows were rejected by the next family that bought the house. They argued they bought all the original place. They said the red room was just a closet in the basement. It was not concealed in any way. And the fact that it was made where local Indians had abandoned the mentally undying was rejected by local Native American leaders. They were on the TV show. That's incredible.
How would you feel if the goblins of Halloween occupied your house all year long? Even the most ardent prayers couldn't rid one house of ghoulies and ghosties, at least as they were reported to most of America in a recent shocking book and motion picture.
Did you ever watch that show?
Yeah.
It had Kathy Lee Crosby on it. And John Davidson, who was in the worst performance of Oklahoma I've ever seen.
Oh, what a beautiful morning.
John Davidson stars in the Rodgers and Hammerstein's musical classic, Oklahoma.
The home of
Live at the O'Keefe Center, July 3rd through the 8th.
where the wailing wheat, it sure smells sweet when the wind comes right behind the...
Tickets at the box office or call 872-2262 to charge, sponsored by Diet Coke, just for the taste of it.
Where are you watching performances of Oklahoma?
When we were kids, my parents paid for us to go to the Civic Light Opera. They had like a cheap family pet for like cheap families. You get to sit. You have to go to 3 Civic Light Opera presentations. You had to sit the whole way up on top, and you could pick 3. So that year, we each got to pick ones.
What'd you pick?
I think I picked Annie. Noah picked Annie. Maybe it was Annie.
Did he pick Black Annie?
It was Annie, Grease, and Oklahoma.
Oh.
John Davidson. I think I picked it because I love John Davidson from TV's That's Incredible. Also starring Fran Tarkenton, the football player.
Good evening, I'm John Davidson.
And it was so bad that Curly, the guy who's supposed to be the bad guy, became the good guy. And when Curly died, everybody in the theater started booing. Like, we could change the narrative. Hey, does anybody... It was like Peter Pan. If you kids wish real hard, Curly will come back to life and start killing people again.
Oh, God.
The claim of cloven hoof prints was rejected by researchers because weather show there was no snow on the day that they say that it happened. There's no bar in Amityville called the Witch's Brew.
Well, they just, I think they started with an idea and it just snowballed from there.
Yeah. Even in the book that the priest, in the book, the car that the priest is driving changes throughout the book.
Yeah.
So, George Lutz said in an interview 25 years later, I believe this has stayed alive for 25 years because it's a true story. Now, that doesn't mean that everything that I've ever said about it's true. It's not a hoax. It's real easy to call something a hoax. I wish it was, but it's not. So this has actually gone into folklore. The people that have lived there since 1976, the various owners of the house, have never seen anything weird. The guy that lived there from 1977 for a few years, James Camardi, said, nothing weird ever happened here except for all the people that used to come to the house.
Yeah.
So, the 4th film was made just for NBC. One of the famous features is the distinct pumpkin head look of the house. That is not what the house looked like.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, during the period that they were staying in the house. Oh, yes. Dr. Stephen Kaplan, a self-styled vampirologist and ghost hunter, was called in.
Kaplan, a vampirologist.
Yeah, Kaplan and the Lutzes argued because Kaplan said, look, if there's a fraud, I'm going to tell people it's a fraud, and I'm not going to help you. He went on to write a very critical book with his wife in 1995. On the night of March 6th, the house was investigated by Ed and Lorraine Warren, a husband and wife team, self-described as demonologists, along with the crew from Channel 5 New York and a reporter.
Now, Ed, can you tell me how you and Lorraine got involved in the Amityville horror?
Well, it was Marvin Scott from Channel 5 news team. He was the anchorman at the time, and he had been involved with a haunting that we had investigated in Bloomfield, New Jersey, and he was impressed by this. So he gave us a ring and he said, we'd like you to come down and see what's going on in Amityville, Long Island. Now, this was not the Amityville horror case at that time, you understand. This was just another haunted house, and we didn't even realize that 6 people had been murdered in that house of the Failed family. So we said, sure, we'd come down there, and we did. And that was the beginning of an adventure which we'll never forget, a supernatural adventure. When we went into the house that day, we didn't realize that it was diabolically infested. And on a scale of 1 to 10, I would have to say that Amityville was a 10. I want to make it clear at the beginning of this program that Lorraine and I do not back up the movie or the book. It was much more horrific than either. You didn't have to take a literary license in a book or dramatic license in a movie. This case had everything. It had the monstrosities of the night which roamed that house, which infested it, which caused a young man to murder his whole family.
During the course of the investigation, Gene Campbell took a series of infrared time-lapse photos. One of the images allegedly show a demonic boy. I know, Ange. The photograph did not emerge in the public domain until 1979, when the Lutzes and Rod Steiger appeared on Merv Griffin. Hans Holzer also investigated.
You need to look up this picture right now. I want to see it.
The Warrens and Holzer have suggested that the house is occupied by malevolent spirits due to its history.
Malevolent.
Well, I'm from Elwood City.
Malevolent.
Malevolent.
You malevolent children.
Hey, why are you kids being so malevolent?
They said, we don't know what that means. We're not sure if we are.
Yeah. CSI did an episode based on the Amityville horror as well. Actress Christine Belford lived in the house and sold the home. Her family sold the home to the DeFeos. In 2010, the house was put on the market. How much do you think they put it up for?
How much?
$1.15 million. So, let's take a look. Let's see if we can find a picture. A demonic boy.
Just type in Amityville demonic boy.
Demonic boy. Amityville. Photo. As you get old, it's like you're in a movie. Because you know the old movies, like you can't see the computer screen. And you say,
Computer? Computer? Hello, computer.
Just use the keyboard.
The keyboard. How quaint.
So here's, was it the Amityville Ghost Boy?
Where is it?
There it is right there.
That's so fake. Let me see this.
I think it's eerie. I would say that it's eerie.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You don't believe this? You think
Not at all.
You don't think it happened?
No.
You don't.
Pictures. Horrible. Do you like this one? Just a short kid.
Well, I like that there's a demon and it's circled next to the demon. Kid.
Kid.
So you don't think that there's another one here? There's a whole bunch of circled kids.
Just kid.
In these pictures. Well, it's a true story.
Yeah.
You know that there's a house up the street in
Brentwood.
that supposedly is like an Amityville house.
Yeah, that's.
Didn't you know somebody?
Kelly at work. She used to go there because the kids. She knew the kids that lived there.
Yeah.
She said nothing ever happened while she was there.
Yeah.
I'll read trivia.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah, the first one's pretty interesting.
Oh. Because the movie was made on a relatively modest budget, James Brolin took less money up front, but with a promise of 10% of the gross sales after its release. After the movie became an unexpected blockbuster, he eventually received about $17 million. If adjusted for inflation, that would be equivalent to a little over $55 million in 2014.
So his bitching about not getting to make a movie for 2 years?
He doesn't need it.
No, hey, you made $17 million, even not adjusted for inflation? James Brolin. Come on, bro.
James Brolin became friendly with George Lutz, but he was highly doubtful of their real story. And it says, just like him, Margot Kidder also went on record saying she didn't believe the Amityville story either.
Do you remember when Margot Kidder went crazy and all her teeth fell out?
Yeah, because she was on the cocaine and
do you know who
the eating disorders. And,
she and Amy Irving and they were like party girls. And they would party with all these different producers and stuff. And the geeky guys that they would try to fix up and teach how to go to parties and stuff were Steven Spielberg and George Lucas. They were like around them. But Margot Kidder, mid-70s.
With teeth.
With teeth. Pretty attractive. I never liked her because I didn't like Lois Lane in Superman.
My husband tapped that.
No, I wouldn't tap that, no.
Oh, okay.
No, if I could go to the 70s and pick, Margot Kidder would be way down on the list.
Oh, okay. This movie was shot in 7 weeks.
I'm sorry, I'm with Barbara Steele. I don't need the Margot Kidder. You wouldn't be around for like 20 or 30 years.
Thank you.
And I would just be friends with her. I wouldn't do anything illicit. We'd just make horror movies together.
Okay.
Yeah. Joan Collins and I would be dating.
Her eyes are so spread apart on her forehead, it is even funny.
Joan,
she looks like a cat that got smacked with a baseball bat.
60s Joan Collins.
Her eyeballs are still over here.
Why so much hatred for Joan Collins?
Because her eyeballs are on the sides of her head.
I don't say anything untoward about James Brolin.
That he has a marvelous beard.
He does have
and wonderful facial features.
It's funny because whenever I mention a woman,
whenever
I mention a woman that I find attractive, my wife will be like, her head is weird, and then she'll be like, I think James Brolin's attractive. I'm like, oh, he's a dashing man. Yes, he is a beautiful man.
Honey was rubbed on Rod Steiger's head to draw the flies to him.
Poor Rod Steiger. Poor Rod Steiger.
We're gonna smear you with sticky honey.
Like, Rod, come here. Rod Steiger's like, how are we going to do this B effect? Really technical effects. We're going to smear honey all over your head.
I always knew this, but I never read this. James Brolin's brother was actually used for the image of the bearded man seen appearing from the red room in the cellar because it looks like him, but I always thought it wasn't him.
Yeah.
But I thought it was supposed to be the kid because the kid had some of the same facial features. Oh, that makes sense. The studio wanted someone who bore a close resemblance and discovered he had a brother who shared a strong resemblance. He was fitted with a fake beard to play that part.
I can't grow a beard as nice as my brother. Oh, we made you a beard.
In hopes of creating more publicity for the film, the studio would concoct stories of weird occurrences on the set.
You mean like all the things William Castle talked about on Rosemary's Baby? Mm-hmm. That he was cursed while he was making it? Not that William Castle ever pulled off some bullshit ever in his career.
The outdoor scenes of the movie were not filmed in Amityville, but rather filmed in New Jersey. Local police and ambulance workers played extra.
Yeah.
Finnish name for the film meant, for God's sake, get out of here. So that's however they worded it,
That was the name of the title of the movie?
Yeah,
For God's sake, get out of here. Where was that called?
In Finland.
Would you like to go see, for God's sake,
For
God's sake, get out of here, the movie.
Margot Kidder went on record with her friends that she hated the film. Well,
she was a bad friend. She was an artiste. You know what, though? She made Superman. That was 2.
Not very good.
She was in some Superman 1 is a good movie. Superman 2, other than the goofy parts, is great. Terrence Stamp.
Yeah.
Amazing in that movie. I'm a big Terrence Stamp fan. I would put him in a movie.
I'm going through all these other ones.
Maybe there's some good trivia lurking in the trivia.
Lurking. I read them all.
Are you haunted by the trivia?
I am. Ready to start this movie.
Now I've read all these bad reviews. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm not sure I want to watch it.
But then you said you've never seen this.
But then I see an upside down cross and a nun being chased, and I say, yes.
You said you never saw this, right?
I saw the remake.
The new one. You've never seen this.
I saw the new one with
Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool.
Yeah.
You've never seen this one.
Thank you for referring to him as the only name I would know him as. Yeah. Or Green Lantern.
Or Alanis Morissette's unlikely husband.
Supposed infatuation junkie?
Him.
Either.
The whole thing is just weird and I can't deal with it.
There's the honey on Rod Steiger's face.
It is. I'm gonna do that while you're sleeping.
Do you think that a lot of metal bands got into this wouldn't have done upside down crosses if it wasn't for this movie?
Probably. I think this put upside down crosses on the map.
Can I ask you some questions about this movie before we watch it? Is it as good as The Exorcist?
In its own way, yes.
No.
What do you mean, no?
It says, no, it's not as good as The Exorcist.
It's different.
They're both about... Do you think this movie invented...
This is more ghosts, and that one's more the devil. In my opinion.
When I was a little kid, again, we couldn't afford to go to a lot of movies. So the only way I experienced movies was either on HBO, years later, after everybody had already seen them, or through Mad Magazine. And I only knew the fake satire versions of them.
Yeah.
So this was lampooned in Mad Magazine. So that's how I knew about it and all the different sequels.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were a lot of sequels to this and a lot of trailers for them. I remember seeing it all the time on late night TV when I was a kid. And I would put my hands over my ears and I would go, until it was over.
My baby.
Because I was worried that the ghost would find me.
Oh, Mother of God, I'm coming apart!
19 days after the Lutz family moved into their dream house, they were running for their lives. What happened? to them is an experience in terror you will never forget. And you will believe in the Amityville Horror. Rated R.
Now playing at a theater or drive-in near you.
I was just playing a fun little match game here in my head with the cast versus their names,
Yeah.
their characters' names. I could have matched them up.
You could have matched them up.
Yeah, if they did,
Who was
draw
the
the
girl?
line
Who
to
was the girl in the remake? Who played the wife in the remake?
Melissa George. 30 Days of Night.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Well, she
she's
hasn't done anything
wonderful.
in a while.
She does artsy movies, really. I like her a lot, though.
But did the kids become anybody in the remake?
No.
When they make another remake of this,
Mm-hmm.
who would you put in it?
Well, like I was telling you, I don't know any of the actresses and actors of today. I'm too old for pop culture anymore. How
Is
you like
James
all the
Brolin-
stuff from the 70s and 60s? This
Yeah.
is where I stop. I like 80s and 90s.
I think it not. What's the haunted house movie? It's out now. Not the one with the
Conjuring.
Is that's the clapping? Oh, Murray Hamilton was in a lot
I
of
was
your
looking at him.
a lot of your favorite movies.
He is.
Okay, so in the Ghost movie, there's Sinister and Conjuring. What's the other one?
Insidious.
Insidious.
Yes.
Isn't Isn't Insidious just this movie? Like the
They
time on
don't
the clock,
actually show ghosts.
the time on the clock, and all that stuff when everything changes. Isn't it just a lot of the same thing?
Yeah, but it's different. There's something, I think the reason why I like old movies
Yeah.
is there's something more genuine about these.
Uh-huh.
They were doing stuff for the first time that people hadn't seen, and
Yes.
that's why some of these movies,
So why don't you like Star Wars?
because it's the same thing over and over
No,
again.
it's not.
It is, baby.
No, it's not.
And there's 400 characters to keep straight.
Yes.
That's why
That
I
way,
let
I'll
you
tell
do
you
it.
why.
That's
That's awesome.
That's why
I'll
I
tell
don't
you why
steal
that's
your
awesome.
thunder. I let you have all the
I'll
Star
tell you
Wars
why
knowledge.
that's great.
Why?
Because that gives you an opportunity to find someone you love and say,
And share it with them.
that's my Star Wars person.
Mm-hmm.
And I pick ones that nobody knows.
You know who I like?
Who?
BB-8. Enough said.
You like BB?
What's his
Oh my god, you said like there was a fight. You know who I like? BB-8. Enough said.
Enough said.
Enough said.
Enough said.
Nothing else need to be said. Just BB-8.
That's it.
I'm like, what about? Nope.
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 Nope. You
Just-
can tell me their names. I won't remember them.
What about Kluftar Pook? Not a real Star. We should play this game. Is this a Star?
I wouldn't know. It's
Let's
like
play this game.
It's like
Is
your
this-
IKEA game.
Is this a Star Wars character or not?
Yeah.
Kylo Ren.
Yes. Teen says yes.
PT-55.
No.
No.
I can tell when you're
IG-88.
Oh, that's a tough one. It's either a Star Wars character or a phone.
He's real.
I'd say
He's a big metal guy.
Yeah.
Astroglide.
No.
KY-54.
No. No.
Dr. Ruth Westheimer.
No, Dr. Ruth is not in it.
Okay. We should do this every show. I should try to name a Star Wars character and see if I can. Angelo the dog.
Yes, he's a alien.
Ange. Who's your favorite Star Wars character?
Who is it? Huh?
He said, I don't know.
Who is it, team? Tell us. Bug.
Come on, tell everybody who you love from Star Wars.
Oh. He said, BB-8, shut up, Dad.
All right.
Hear him? He says, BB-8.
All right. Well, we're going to start the Amityville Horror. We're going to start it 11 o'clock at night so that when it plays as I fall asleep, I'll have horrifying nightmares all night. You You too. I know you're just a small dog. You're only 13. And you can't deal with this. Movies about ghosts.
A small dog of 13.
A small dog of 13.
Okay.
All right, let's start the movie.
We're happy to have you with us this evening and want you to enjoy every minute of your stay here. And while you relax and stretch, visit our concession where you'll find something to please you. There are ice-cold drinks, delicious sandwiches, ice cream, coffee and snacks, and many other pleasing treats. Our foods are fresh and tasty, our drinks satisfying and refreshing. They're so good.
Well, it took us an entire week, but we finally watched
The Amityville Horror.
We watched it in 10-minute bursts where we'd watch it.
And fall asleep.
Fall asleep. The first night it happened,
Yeah.
I had nightmares all night that I had to make a poster for work all about the Amityville Horror. My boss kept telling me it wasn't good enough and to go back and think about how I could make it better. I woke up at 3 in the morning and stayed up for the rest of the day because this dream would not stop happening. And if I've
You got cursed.
If I've learned anything, when I'm dreaming about the same dream, and
Over and over
I
again.
can't stop it, I just got to get up.
What you mean to say is that our house probably sits on an Indian burial ground.
No.
Yeah.
Our house is on the hill, so they wouldn't bury anybody. That's why I bought a house on the hill. You can't bury people on the hill.
Then all the serial killers just dump the bones down our ravine.
They didn't do that. I bought this house for very specific reasons.
Do I have to quote Poltergeist again? Yeah. You moved the headstones, but you didn't move the bodies.
No, I bought this house I went through all these reasons. I said, the real estate people, I said, I just want to talk to you.
Was there any Civil War action around this area?
No.
'Cause that's what Amy says. All the bones from the dead soldiers in Gettysburg, that's how their teeth are so white.
Well,
from the calcium that's in the ground.
I said, I'm going to get on a hill, that way it's not on a burial ground. It's not close to a hospital, because then the living dead are more dangerous to come out of a hospital than they are to come out of a cemetery. Cemeteries, they're already in crypts and they can't get out of those. And I said, and I don't want to, I want a place that's near smaller grocery stores that I can easily take over. That's why I did the things I did.
There's a way to my husband's madness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know how to do.
Yeah.
So
see him do.
You should see him do. You should see that girl do.
Yeah.
So this was the Amityville Horror.
Yeah.
I don't think there was anything wrong with his house.
No.
I think James Brolin was a single guy, never had kids before.
He's going through a midlife crisis.
He suddenly finds himself married, and he's got 3 kids that aren't his, that don't listen to him, that just abuse the little girl with spiders. All he wants to do
is just chop wood.
Just fucking leave me alone.
Play with his boat and chop wood.
I got my boat, and and we gotta have firewood. And she just keeps going, hey, don't, you know what? When the guy's chopping wood, don't sneak up on him. I completely agree with him. She was like being
I've
really
done
nice.
this. My husband was not chopping firewood, but I mean, there have been a few times where baby, I got this. Just step away.
Becca, I got this.
Yeah.
When I don't call her by a nickname, that's when I'm
mad. That's when he's serious.
But you know what? I'm all with him in this movie because there's a couple times where she's just like, just settle down. He'll get to it. It's like, and I'm not saying this about all women. I'm just saying this about the woman in the movie. And in the middle of the night, he's like, you know what? You know, I can tell you exactly what happened. She's like, I'm not going back in that house. And after a while, if guys have been taking shit, guys are like, the only way I can deal with this irrational bullshit is to be twice as irrational. So he said, you don't go back in the house? Fine. We're just going to get in this van and drive away and leave all our shit there forever. If you want to do that? And she was like, I don't think you will. Fucking watch me. And he drove away and did it. Because that's how guys react to extreme situations. By saying, I got to try to out crazy this girl. Guess what? You can't. I say this with all love and respect. You can't out crazy. You can't. I said to my dad once, I was like 13 or 14. I hadn't even dated anybody yet. I can't figure girls out. He goes, you never will. Stop it. That was his advice. I said, you don't have any advice? Nope. It's not going to get any easier. And you're never going to be right. And
Am I hard to figure out?
No.
You have me figured out.
No, I don't have you figured out. There's no answer. If I say, no, you're not hard to figure out, you're great.
What's the most confusing part about me?
I want to talk about Amityville Horror. I don't want to go down this trap.
Just tell me, because I want to know. Just pick one little small topic.
There's not really anything confusing about you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just, you have your idiosyncrasies.
What?
Just, you're great.
Thank you.
Just, you come home and suddenly things that you... It's kind of like living with a poltergeist.
Yeah.
Because, things you accepted, you're like, okay, well, there are red candles in here, and there's a blue... Everything's painted blue, and there's a thing hanging above the bed, and there's a blue painting with words that she put on above the bed, and you come home, and they're all different. And you say...
It's called musical home furnishings.
That carpet wasn't in the hallway before it was, and you go, no, it's always been there. Because here's the thing, and I have to tell you, I'm convinced all the time that at some point I'm just going to go crazy.
Yeah.
I've known this since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And when you have to tell me when you change things, because otherwise I go, I can't trust reality anymore. So, no, you're pretty easy to figure out. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a good way.
Okay.
We have good communication. There's some women that just enjoy being contrary for the sake of being contrary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matt's wife said to me once, I said, well, how can I help you be happy? You never can and you never will. And I was like, cool, we weren't even married yet. You know what we call that in the business?
What?
A red fucking flag. When I was in my early 20s, I was like, mid-20s, I was romantic. Like, I can fix this. No. Ain't no fixing crazy. Nope.
Nope.
So, you'll never make me happy, and you'll never do anything right. Okay. I love you. Lord. Want to hit me with a brick?
Yeah.
That's what I was like.
You're doing stuff right now, just so you know.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not chopping wood.
No, I wouldn't let you. You'd hurt yourself.
I'm chopping wood.
You'd get disgruntled and frustrated, and you'd end up hurting yourself, like always happens.
I imagine.
You're like my dad in that sense.
I don't hurt myself as bad as your dad. Your dad hurts himself every time he does something.
He
gets a drill. Gets a drill out.
You hurt yourself more mentally than physically.
I see your dad just bleed everywhere for
he does. He's like freaking stigmata.
What did you do?
Jesus on the cross. He died for his people.
These fucking screwdrivers.
Yeah, it's always
a
tool.
Yeah, and I just okay. And I'm like, oh, that's a shame, and I just am understanding.
No, my dad looks like he does intravenous drugs.
Yeah.
You ever seen his arms?
Yeah.
Beat up constantly, like holes.
James Brolin, I imagine if he actually went into an office instead of being a contractor or whatever he was in this.
And working from home.
Yeah, dudes would just be like all talking around the job site. These guys talk at lunch about their wives. And I could just imagine him going, you won't believe what this bitch did last night.
Yeah.
She woke me up at 3:15, told me there's and all this black stuff came out of the toilet. And you know what it was? She flushed one of her tampons down the fucking toilet.
Black stuff?
I don't know.
That's not what happened.
No, but she backed the toilet up. Something. You know what I mean? And he was just like, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So, my wife's taking her clothes off during this podcast.
No, I am not.
I might not be paying attention. If you heard a long pause there, it was me saying, what is happening here?
For those of you ladies who know about the slipping your bra off under your shirt trick, I just did that.
Yeah,
so I'm in bed and I'm getting comfortable.
So, Amityville Horror, not really scary.
The reason I like it, I think.
Yeah, because it's early.
It's early, and it's, to me, it's just a classic, like the way it's filmed and everything. It's
James Brolin looks good.
Yeah, it's one of those.
And Rod Steiger's in it.
It's just a classic. You know what to expect. It's never gonna change. It's like The Shining. It's like all those to me.
Yeah.
Like, it is a good ghost story.
Yeah.
I think, and I think there's a good story there, and then, they just effed up the rest of them when they tried to make 12 of them.
Well, the other thing, too, is, like, most horror stories, like, where they start, that's where Amityville Horror ends. Like, they got to a couple things, they're like, nope, we're out of this house. And other movies now, they're like, I heard someone clapping, and there was no one there. But I stuck
Clap
around.
game.
I stuck around.
I also think I like it because of the actors in it.
Yeah.
They're all really good.
The Rod Steiger.
Yeah. Everybody was a seasoned good actor from back then. And
Yeah.
I think it's almost like a comforting feeling to know you're watching a good movie with really good people and it really doesn't matter what
You
it's
feel like
about.
you're in the right hands with them?
Yes, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would you give this movie?
I give it a B+.
I'd give it a B-.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good, though.
Yeah.
It's an American International picture. I have to like everything those guys did.
Exactly.
They produced all the Roger Corman, Edgar Allan Poe movies. This is not as good as those movies. It's good, though. I mean, I enjoyed it. Any movie where a nun plays basketball and then has a nervous breakdown when she's in a house.
And
pukes. Here's how I would have recut that scene. I would have cut it so you could have
played it back to front.
I would have seen that so you see the nun puke. I don't think she knew how to puke on cue.
They couldn't. They couldn't do noises.
And they just did noises. I'm a fan of actually seeing the puke. Call me a purist.
Yeah. What would our house be if that's the Amityville Horror? What are we, the West Mifflin Terror?
I guess. I think.
Tina's played Teen instead of Harry. We have Angelo.
Yeah.
You look a lot like George Lutz. Could grow my hair out.
I'm out in the front yard just chopping wood.
Instead of having 3 stepchildren, you have 2 stepcats and 2 Veer babies. We're a blended family just like them. Who's to say that this couldn't happen here?
Yeah, because I took care of when I got this house.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Did you have a priest come?
No.
No. We should probably get one of those.
I blessed it with my own holy water. I did. I can't lie.
Does that mean peeing around the house in a circle?
No, not at all. No.
I know that's happened too.
Oh, I've peed everywhere.
No.
When you find pee, you're like, the cats. No,
that was my husband. He has accidents.
I think a lot of people are closed-minded.
Yeah.
You can pee if you're a guy.
Yeah, you can pretty much pee anywhere, according to you.
The world's your toilet.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So, this is Amityville Horror. I would like to see Amityville 3D. I looked for it today. I couldn't find it.
I like the second one, too.
The Possession. I looked for that, too. It's about the original family. I looked for that. Couldn't find it. I think that these people made this story up.
I do, too. I don't think it's real.
I think his business failed or something. They had to skip town.
Yeah.
He's like, man.
Well, this story...
Yeah.
I mean... That could have been what happened, and that's why I ran to write a book and make all this shit up.
Yeah.
But about the murder and stuff.
Oh, that happened, but...
Yeah.
I mean, what do? You tear the house down, build another one.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. I don't know.
But in Carrie, remember, they burned the house to the ground, and she still was there.
Yeah, she came back out.
Reaching up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. This is the Amityville Horror. One of the first of many.
Yes.
And probably the best one.
Yeah.
I've seen the other ones, but I'll just say this is the best one. Anything else you'd like to add to this episode?
No. James Brolin forever.
And
getting it tattooed on my boob.
No, don't say that.
Next to your face.
Yeah, like James Brolin's face on one breast.
My husband's on
and
the other.
other. So, oh, great. So like I'm kissing myself.
Exactly.
Or I'm kissing James Brolin.
Yep.
Well, I think that's a good point to leave this episode.
Yeah.
This is Sam.
And this is Becca.
And we'll see you
at the movie.